Guys, this is Spartan here showing you a just stock Pyragon, but I'm not here to talk about this right now. That will come after this jump cut. Right now, what I am warning you about is that if you do want to open your Pyragon, be aware that the white shell will actually continue on beneath this red muzzle piece, which is solvent welded shut. The only way that I was able to break it open without just boiling off this entire muzzle was just by using a hacksaw and just cutting the white shell piece in order to split it off from the pieces that are beneath the red muzzle. That way I could just lift this up and put it back in without problem. It's a messy job, but it does get the job done. Now then, let's take out the locks, twist up the torsion springs, and show you how this guy works. Okay, so about an hour and a half later, I finished up modding the Pyragon, so let's get a look on the inside. Starting off with the torsion spring. I will tell you now though, there are two potential locations where you could put the torsion spring to, and there should be one potential location where this camera should focus. There we go. Alright. So initially the torsion spring was located way out over here at this screw post, which you can't even see on the camera very well. There we go. This little screw post right here. That right there where the torsion spring would twist, wind back, and shoot would give it about 30 FPS, which is stock for Vortex. There's another screw post which is now covered by a glob of super glue right here, which would have brought it up to around 40. But instead, I decided to push my torsion spring to the third screw post, which you can see where the washer head screw is on, right over here. The only issue is that the torsion spring is like too long with the bended end to be able to fit into this little plastic cubby right here. So I will tell you now, if you really want to double up the FPS to 60, you will need bolt cutters in order to just cut off that bent area, the twisted area of the torsion spring, in order to have it fit under here. And then after that, get a wide flat head screw, or washer head screw like I did, to screw it into place between the screw post and this little nut right here. And as usual, just glob it down in epoxy, super glue, any strong adhesive to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. This does bend the system quite a bit, as you could just see right here. Let's just refocus real quick. Yeah, as you can see right here, the system is very much bent, but it will hold. Just keep in mind that you'll probably need second parts. If I recall correctly, this is the exact same torsion spring shell, compartment as the Praxis, as with basically everything else in this blaster, including of course the trigger plate right here, the catch itself, which you can see right over here, focus, and of course the magazine area. The only different addition is just the slamfire rod, which is this piece of plastic down here. You can see this open space right here in it, because the priming rod has a bar sticking out of it, which slides inside of this inside of the slamfire bar, and the slamfire bar connects to the trigger, which is just this whole piece going down through here. You can see the loop of it right there connecting to the catch release. Yeah, the trigger loops into the stub on the slamfire bar as well. So sure enough, whenever you want to fire, let's just jump cut it to where I have the camera still. Alright, so with the top down view, let me just show you the firing mechanism. Sure enough, to single fire, you just pump it back, all the way back, because there is still a ratchet lock up here which will prevent you from just halfway priming the blaster, which is honestly helpful. You don't want to just prime it halfway, push it forward, and have the torsion spring just reset everything into place with force. So priming it all the way back, pulling it forward, as you can see the torsion arm is ready to go, so you just pull the trigger, keep this guy pulled forward, and just let it rip. To slam fire now, let's hold down the trigger, push this guy back, and now it's ready to fire. However, with the slamfire bar, it will be the slamfire bar that will release the catch and not the trigger, since you're holding it down. Pulling all the way forward, it does that exactly. The trigger fell out, but it doesn't matter. So there you go, that's how it works. Like the Alpha Trooper, like the Rampage, and I guess now the Conquest Pro as well. Sure enough though, it's just the slamfire bar that does the trick, and it actually looks a lot more sturdier than just the thin orange piece of plastic that the Alpha Trooper or the Rampage has. In terms of the longevity of this blaster, we will find out, but let's wrap out this video with, of course, range tests and FPS tests. For FPS, we've got ourselves 5 genuine Vortex and 5 headshot ammo discs. $61, 60, 61, 60. Alright, headshots. 53, 56, 53, 55, it's 54. Alright, so sure enough, we are seeing just under 60, so anywhere between 55 to 60 FPS. Or, you know, with genuine Vortex, mostly 60s, but overall though, that is honestly great. Way better than the 30 FPS par. And based off of the discs and their flight, you know, their glide, 50 FPS will go a long way. Alright. Yet again, 5 genuine, 5 knockoff. We're going to fire off 2 and slam fire 3 for each. Just got to make sure the magazine's tight. There we go. Nice. So far it seems like 3 of them have hit the 80-foot mark at that speed bump. Now let's try headshot ammo. Still pretty nice. The only thing is that the wind is blowing against me, so this is not a definitive range test as I've just found out. Granted though, it should be able to fly upwards of 60 feet before it just loses its path and drops to the ground, but outside of that, much better than what you'd usually get with just default Vortex.